Did you know that in 2019, President Donald Trump wanted to purchase Greenland, the largest island in the world? That's right. This icy island, nearly as large as Western Europe and with the second highest ice density on Earth after Antarctica, became the center of global attention. Greenland is also known for its intriguing customs, such as the Inuit tribe's practice of wife-swapping. Additionally, there are no roads in Greenland, so people can only travel by boat or plane. Interestingly, despite being covered by 80% ice, it is named Greenland. Let's explore 15 fascinating facts about Greenland. Number 15. It was once green. You might wonder why Greenland, the largest icy island in the world which is covered entirely in ice and snow, has a name that seems quite contradictory to its reality. Why is a land covered in ice called Greenland? The answer lies in an interesting historical story. The name Greenland was given by Eric the Red, a Norwegian explorer. After being exiled from Iceland for murder, Eric the Red set out to explore a new land and decided to settle there to attract more people to join him. He named the land Greenland, a name promising a lush and fertile land. This can be seen as a medieval advertising campaign to encourage settlement. The reality of Greenland at that time was quite different from the name Eric the Red gave it. Archaeological studies show that the climate in Greenland during the 10th and 11th centuries was warmer than it is today, allowing for the development of vegetation and making part of the island actually green. Thus, the name Greenland was not entirely misleading. In fact, there were even dense pastures suitable for sheep herding, and potatoes were commonly grown. Today, Greenland has changed significantly from its early days, with 80% of the island covered in ice. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts. Number 14. Donald Trump wanted to buy Greenland. Located far from global power centers, Greenland has attracted the attention of many nations, especially the United States. In 1867, shortly after purchasing Alaska from Russia, the U.S. considered expanding northward with Greenland as a potential target. Beyond this instance, the U.S. has made several attempts to buy up marginal land. For example, in 1947, President Harry Truman expressed interest in purchasing Greenland. In 2019, President Donald Trump confirmed that he had discussed the possibility of buying Greenland. However, since Greenland has been part of the Kingdom of Denmark since the 14th century and has a deep historical relationship with Denmark, these attempts were unsuccessful. Greenland's strategic position in the Arctic has made it a geopolitical hotspot for centuries. Before Europeans arrived, Greenland was home to the Inuit, who adapted to the harsh Arctic life with deep knowledge of nature and excellent hunting and fishing skills. In the 10th century, the Vikings settled in Greenland and turned it into a bustling trade center. However, due to climate change and other factors, Viking rule ended in the 15th century. After the Vikings left, Greenland reverted to being the land of the Inuit. It wasn't until the 18th century that Denmark reasserted sovereignty over Greenland. However, Greenlanders have always fought to protect their cultural identity and self-determination. In 1979, Greenland finally achieved autonomy, marking a significant milestone in its history. Today, Greenland is an autonomous country with its own government managing internal affairs, and it is increasingly becoming an attractive destination for resource exploitation. Number 13. Polygamy is common. One of the unique cultural traditions that has drawn the attention of anthropologists and researchers to the Inuit people living in Greenland is the practice of wife-swapping. For the Inuit, marriage is not just a personal matter but has broader social significance. Wife-swapping is often seen as a way to promote social harmony, community bonding, and strengthen familial relationships. Inuit societies are characterized by a communal lifestyle where cooperation and mutual dependence among individuals and families are highly valued. Wife-swapping serves as a means to reinforce social bonds and strengthen alliances between families or clans, supporting the concept of an extended network of kinship relationships, which ensures a broader support system within the community. Historically, the Eskimos practiced short-term wife lending. Thus, wife-swapping is essentially a further extension of the practice of lending a wife. For them, it is as normal as other everyday activities. The specific custom of lending involves a man being allowed to borrow another man's wife during hunting expeditions based on prior agreements. During the borrowing period, the woman is expected to meet all the needs of the person who borrowed her. This practice signifies that a man wants to share the best gift he has, a woman, with guests. If the guest refuses, The man considers it disrespectful to the woman and her family. Even a father might sleep with his own child without being judged. What do you think about this practice? Share your thoughts below. Number 12. Snow blindness in Greenland. The risk of snow blindness is particularly high due to the region's unique climate. The midnight sun during summer exposes people to prolonged ultraviolet rays, and even in winter, sunlight remains intense due to reflection off the ice and snow. This condition makes snow blindness a significant concern for anyone living in or traveling to Greenland, especially those who frequently engage in outdoor activities. Snow blindness is not only a health issue but also a major barrier to life and work in Greenland. Adapting to life in the harsh Arctic environment remains a significant challenge for both locals and newcomers, so people need to wear specialized glasses to protect their eyes. Number 11. Harsh living conditions. Kak is one of the last towns in Greenland that still primarily relies on hunting. Like many other Arctic regions, the people here experience months of darkness and months of constant daylight. In this area, cargo transport only occurs twice a year, once when the ice thaws in June, and again before sea ice forms in September. Each year the hunting season shortens due to unstable sea ice conditions. Some local hunters say that things are changing year by year and they cannot be sure about anything. During the summer months, residents get water from a nearby river. However, in winter the weather is too cold for the river to flow. Icebergs from the sea are transported by truck to a special facility where the ice is melted. The water is then distributed to all houses in Kak by a water transport ship. As sea ice begins to break up in spring, conditions become increasingly uncertain and dangerous, making the simple task of gathering water more perilous. Kak has a long history of pride in maintaining hunting traditions through generations. Established in the 1950s, it is one of the towns in Greenland most affected by climate change. Many locals live on permafrost, and their homes and important infrastructure such as roads and bridges are built on frozen ground. The living conditions here are extremely harsh. What do you think about the people in Greenland? Share your thoughts below. Number 10. The most extreme race in the world. Greenland is a paradise for extreme race enthusiasts, with its diverse terrain, from snow-covered mountain ranges to vast frozen plains. Greenland has become a venue for many endurance and willpower-challenging races. One of the most famous and grueling races in Greenland is the Arctic Circle Race. This 3-day skiing competition, covering a total distance of up to 60 kilometers, is a true test for athletes. They must face harsh weather conditions with temperatures dropping below -20°C in treacherous icy terrain. Additionally, participants must camp and cook for themselves throughout the race, requiring thorough physical and mental preparation. In addition to the Arctic Circle Race, Greenland hosts other exciting races such as the marathon in Kangatsiak, known as one of the toughest marathons in the world. Visitors can also join shorter races to experience the thrill. However, while these races continue to attract many participants, Greenland is facing another urgent issue: climate change. Rapid melting ice is altering the island's landscape and affecting global sea levels. Would you dare to participate in these races? Share your thoughts below. Number 9. Greenland sharks live for hundreds of years. Greenland sharks can grow up to 6.4 meters long and live for over 500 years. They typically inhabit depths below 2,200 meters and in freezing waters. Despite their enormous size and longevity, very little is known about these sharks. Greenland sharks defy a common belief about sharks needing to keep swimming constantly. In reality, some shark species, including the Greenland shark, can remain stationary for periods of time. Most sharks need to swim continuously to pass oxygen-rich water over their gills, but some can breathe while stationary. The Greenland shark's circulatory system is specially adapted for this, allowing it to extract oxygen even when swimming slowly. Their unique adaptation also enables them to survive in frigid waters, sometimes below freezing temperatures. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the Greenland shark is its extremely slow growth rate and incredible lifespan. They don't reach sexual maturity until they are about 150 years old and can live for over 400 or even 500 years. This makes them one of the longest-lived vertebrates we know. The shark with the shortest lifespan is estimated to be around 270 years old, which is longer than the current history of the United States, which is 248 years, so it could be considered your ancestor. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts below. Number 8. The midnight sun. If you're planning a trip to Greenland, you'll encounter an intriguing natural phenomenon known as the midnight sun. Simply put, this is a period lasting up to 6 months when the sun never sets in the northern regions. During this time, the absence of sunlight is almost complete, with only a few hours of twilight around noon. This phenomenon occurs due to Earth's tilt of about 23.5 degrees, which causes the Arctic Circle to be away from the sun during winter. As a result, areas within the Arctic Circle, including northern Greenland, are covered in extended darkness. In Kangatsiak and other northern regions of Greenland, the midnight sun is not characterized by complete darkness right away. In October and November, there are still periods of twilight when the sun hovers just below the horizon, providing some natural light. However, as December approaches, the darkness deepens to the point where there is no sunlight at all. These prolonged, dark months can significantly affect people's physical and mental health. Seasonal affective disorder, particularly winter depression, is quite common due to the lack of sunlight. Light therapy is often used to alleviate symptoms, but it still poses challenges for daily life. Number 7. No roads in Greenland. Despite being the largest island in the world, Greenland is notable for its unique transportation system. The island, with a land area of 2.16 million square kilometers, lacks a road or rail network connecting its communities. Several factors explain the absence of a road system in Greenland. First, the terrain is predominantly ice and rock, making road construction and maintenance extremely difficult and expensive. Second, Greenland's low population density means that settlements are widely dispersed, making it impractical to build a road network connecting all areas. Finally, Greenland's harsh climate, with freezing winters and heavy snow, poses a significant barrier to road construction and use. To adapt to the geographic and climatic challenges, Greenlanders have developed their own unique modes of transportation. Boats are the most common mode of travel, especially in the summer when the fjords thaw. Locals often use boats for fishing, hunting, and visiting other villages. Additionally, sledges and dog sleds are important transportation methods in the winter, helping people move across the thick ice and snow. Local airlines provide services between major towns and remote villages. However, air travel costs are relatively high, so not everyone can afford to use it regularly. Number 6. The Inuit Snow People. Despite the ice-free land area being nearly equivalent to Sweden, Greenland's population is only 56,000, with nearly 90% of them being Inuit. Their ancestors are believed to have originated from eastern Siberia and migrated to Greenland via Canada in the 13th century. The Inuit culture in Greenland has long been known for its unique social customs, closely linked to the harsh Arctic environment. One of the core values is sharing, which plays a crucial role in survival and strengthening the community. The harsh winters in Greenland require high levels of cooperation and trust among community members, with sharing food, shelter, and labor being essential actions to help everyone get through difficulties. Particularly, the Inuit have a unique type of house made of ice. When hunting or traveling for long periods, Inuit people often build temporary shelters from snow and ice known as igloos. People typically cut blocks of ice to construct igloos as places of shelter. The ice blocks are stacked to form a dome-shaped tent with a ventilation hole in the middle and an entrance. Traditional igloos built by the Inuit are around 13 square meters, accommodating up to 4 people per room. Beds are also made of ice, covered with a layer of fur. Number 5. Greenland eats shark meat. Greenlandic cuisine is quite diverse, reflecting the lifestyle and traditions of its people. Due to the harsh natural conditions, Greenlanders have learned to make the most of available resources to create distinctive dishes. Their daily menu mainly includes fresh ingredients from the sea and land, such as seal meat, reindeer, whale, and fresh seafood. One of the most famous and unique dishes in Greenland is kivak. This dish is made by fermenting seabirds inside a seal skin for several months. Although it may sound unusual and even a bit frightening to many, kivak is a beloved delicacy among locals. The unique flavor of kivak comes from the natural fermentation process, offering a memorable culinary experience. Hunting and fishing are essential activities in Greenlandic life. Fresh meat and fish are staple components of their daily meals. Another iconic Greenlandic dish is soot, a hearty stew made from reindeer or muskox meat combined with herbs and spices. Soot is slow cooked to tenderize the meat and infuse it with flavor, creating a rich and comforting taste, particularly suited to Greenland's cold climate. Do you know of any other dishes from this country? Feel free to share your thoughts. Number 4. Polar bears facing climate change. Polar bears in Greenland are facing an unprecedented survival crisis due to climate change. The Arctic Sea is warming rapidly, causing severe ice melt. Since sea ice is crucial for polar bears to hunt seals, their primary food source, the loss of this habitat threatens the existence of these magnificent animals. To adapt to the harsh environmental changes, some groups of polar bears in southeastern Greenland have developed a unique behavior. Instead of relying solely on sea ice, they have learned to hunt seals on freshwater ice floes broken off from glaciers. However, this adaptation is limited to a small area and cannot be applied to the entire polar bear population. Scientific studies indicate that if climate change continues at its current pace, polar bear numbers will decline significantly. The loss of habitat puts them at risk of extinction. To protect these animals, we need decisive actions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and safeguard the polar bear's habitat as well as other species. Number 3. Melting ice in Greenland. Greenland is currently facing an urgent issue. Ice is melting at an alarming rate. Each year, Greenland loses about 270 billion tons of ice, a staggering and concerning figure. This massive ice loss contributes significantly to global sea level rise, accounting for about 30 to 35% of the total increase. The primary cause of this phenomenon is climate change, with rising global temperatures causing ice to melt faster. The melting season in Greenland is becoming more severe and starting earlier than in previous decades. For example, the 2024 melt season began earlier and saw higher melting rates compared to the 1980s and 1990s. As the ice retreats, it exposes the underlying rock and vegetation, which absorb more solar energy than ice, accelerating the melting process even further. The melting ice in Greenland not only affects global sea levels, but also causes other serious consequences for local ecosystems and indigenous communities that rely on land and ice. To monitor these changes, scientists use satellite data from missions like NASA's GRACE or Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment. Number 2. Wildlife diversity. This country is home to a remarkably diverse and unique wildlife ecosystem. The harsh Arctic environment has created a special ecosystem where animals have perfectly adapted to survive and thrive. Some of Greenland's iconic animals include polar bears, reindeer, Arctic foxes, and seals. These animals have evolved distinctive physiological traits to adapt to the cold and food-scarce conditions. Polar bears have thick fur and a layer of fat to keep them warm, while reindeer have wide hooves to move easily over snow. In addition to animals, Greenland is also home to numerous seabird species. The steep cliffs and small islands provide ideal nesting sites for birds such as seabirds, cormorants, and fulmars. The surrounding seas are inhabited by many whale and seal species, creating a rich marine ecosystem. Wildlife has played a significant role in the lives of Greenland's people for centuries. Hunting animals for food and fur is an integral part of Inuit culture. However, in recent years, Greenlanders have become more aware of the importance of environmental protection and biodiversity. Despite this, the country is currently facing many challenges, particularly due to climate change. Melting ice reduces the habitat available for animals, while environmental pollution and overexploitation of resources also threaten many species. Number 1. The largest national park in the world, Northeast Greenland. National Park is one of the Earth's most magnificent natural wonders. Established in 1974 and expanded in 1988, this park is now the largest national park in the world, covering an area of 972,000 square kilometers, or nearly 375,000 square miles. To put this immense size into perspective, the park is larger than most countries in the world. It boasts pristine and diverse landscapes, from massive glaciers and majestic mountains to vast expanses of ice and snow. The park offers visitors extraordinary exploration experiences. Approximately 80% of the park is covered by permanent ice, creating an extremely cold and harsh climate. However, during the summer, the northern and southern coastal areas experience relatively mild weather, sometimes referred to as the Arctic coast. Despite the harsh living conditions, Northeast Greenland National Park is home to many unique wildlife species that have adapted to the extreme cold. Additionally, the park is an important archaeological site, with numerous remains of ancient Inuit cultures. Archaeologists have discovered various artifacts, such as tent rings and tools, showcasing the remarkable adaptation of humans to the harsh Arctic environment.